The air in the studio was thick with tension long before the cameras started rolling. Viewers could sense it had that uneasy calm before something explosive. No one, however, could have predicted what was about to unfold. When Senator John Kennedy leaned forward, his tone deceptively calm, and uttered the words that would ignite one of the most shocking moments in recent political television, the world seemed to stop. "Congresswoman Crockett," he said, "would you like to explain your personal involvements before we continue this discussion?" The audience went silent. Even the camera operators froze. Jasmine Crockett, usually confident and fiery in her debates, looked taken aback. At first, she tried to deflect with her characteristic wit, a soft laugh, a sharp retorte, but it was clear something inside her had shifted. What followed was 15 minutes of raw emotion, unfiltered confrontation, and a breakdown that no one expected to witness live. As Kennedy began listing off details and names, dates, and insinuations, Crockett's expression changed from confusion to disbelief, and finally to something deeper, heartbreak. The allegations were not only political but painfully personal. For years, she had built her image as a bold, uncompromising voice for justice and equality. Now, with millions watching, her private life was being dismantled piece by piece. Her allies in the studio whispered among themselves, unsure whether to step in. The producers debated cutting to commercial, but the director insisted, "Keep rolling. America deserves the truth." Tears welled up in Crockett's eyes as Kennedy continued. "This isn't about character assassination," he said, his southern drawl steady. "This is about transparency." But viewers could sense the power play, the calculated precision in his delivery. It wasn't just about transparency, it was about humiliation. And that's when the moment came that would define the broadcast. Jasmine Crockett, overwhelmed by the weight of it all, reached for her microphone, whispered, "I can't do this anymore," and collapsed out of frame. Chaos erupted in the studio. The broadcast cut abruptly as aides rushed to her side. Social media exploded. Hashtags like #pray for Jasmine and #Kennedy attack dominated every platform within minutes. Some viewers called it political theater gone too far, others claimed it was long overdue exposure. But beneath all the noise was a collective uneasy. Had politics finally crossed a line from debate to cruelty? Hours later, as news anchors scrambled to verify the claims and pundits dissected every second of the footage, Jasmine Crockett's team released a brief statement. Crockett is safe and recovering. The emotional toll of today's events was immense, and we ask for compassion. The tone of the nation shifted. The focus turned from scandal to empathy, from accusation to humanity. Over the next few days, Crockett spoke publicly again, her voice trembling but resolute. In a heartfelt interview, she addressed the controversy head-on. "I've made mistakes," she admitted, "but I will not let shame define me. We live in a world that loves to destroy people for being human. I won't let that destroy me." Her honesty struck a chord far beyond politics. Viewers saw not a politician in crisis, but a woman confronting her pain with courage. Even Kennedy, when later questioned about the confrontation, softened his tone. "Maybe I went too far," he said quietly. "Sometimes we forget there are real people behind these podiums." The admission didn't undo the damage, but it sparked a rare moment of reflection across the political aisle. By the end of the week, what began as a scandal had transformed into something more profound, a national conversation about empathy, privacy, and the brutal cost of public life. Jasmine Crockett's collapse became a symbol not of weakness, but of endurance. She returned to Congress weeks later, greeted by a standing ovation from colleagues who, for once, looked past party lines and saw the person behind the title. Her closing words in her first speech back summed it up best. "Sometimes, we have to fall apart on live television to remind the world that even leaders bleed. But what matters most is that we rise again, not for politics, not for power, but for the truth of who we are." The broadcast that began as an attack ended as a testament to resilience. It reminded millions that no matter how public the stage, every heart beats with private pain, and every fall carries the possibility of redemption.